Hi Fantasy Managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So in this video I'm going to go through a wildcard side for game week 4. We'll have a look at the start of the video as to reasons why you might be looking to wildcards early in the season, and then stick around because at the end we'll look at lots of different options, a bit of tinkering around. So if you enjoy these sort of videos, make sure you hit that like, don't forget to subscribe, and in the meantime, let's take a look. So why would you use your wildcard now? Absolutely, you have to use it before game week 16 or you will lose it. So game week 16 is the last one before the World Cup starts. FPL, the Premier League, will take a break until Boxing Day when it will kick up again. When that happens, you will get the chance to completely redo your side. So between now and game week 16, we could use a wildcard, dead end your side for game week 16. You don't need to look beyond that because you'll get another one. So effectively, we get a new wildcard, and then January the 1st, you'll get another one to use between game week 18 and the rest of the season. If you were going to do a wildcard, absolutely put your side in, template side, whatever you want to put in now, because if price rises go up, you will protect yourself. You'll actually benefit from those price rises. If you just decide at the last minute to put a wildcard together, you may find that you're priced out players that you could have had at the start of the week. One of the reasons why I'm not going to wildcard myself at the moment, more information as the transfer window is still up and running, lots could happen. And as an example, I'm going to put my side on screen now. I've got one or two players that I'm not particularly happy with. I've got lots of Dalot. Bailey got an assist, but I'm still not wildly happy. Greenwood's just sat there doing pretty much dormant there. Robertson, I'd much rather, I think, gone for someone like a Trent. Saka have already moved out. There's one or two players, but nothing that I feel drastically enough that I need to wildcard. I'm not even happy to take a hit. I'm just putting players on the bench that I don't want and slowly using my free transfers to move players around. Remember, you still get your transfer a week. So for me, nothing is needed. And if there was 4 or 5 players that I was worried about, that I thought I need to get in, that I don't want in my side, then yes, I think I would be looking at a wildcard. Otherwise, I'm a person that would probably tend not to look for a wildcard as opposed to look one. I would happily hold it. We're only in game week 3 now. So for me, it just feels a bit too early. Nothing as drastic has changed. But only you can decide when your wildcard to use it for you. If you think you've got 3 or 4 or your side needs rehashing, absolutely go for it. So let's have a look at the wild side that I put together. In goal, we're going to start with Raya. He can see the 3 at Fulham, but I'm pretty happy at 4.5. He's potentially the best option. I absolutely wouldn't say that you couldn't go for Henderson or Sanchez, someone like that. I think that's an absolutely perfectly fine thing to do. But Brentford, great fixtures. At home to Everton, struggling to score. Palace, difficult game. Leeds at home, Southampton. I think that's a decent set of fixtures. And if you dovetail him with the likes of Ward of Leicester, who is your cheapest playing £4 million goalkeeper, I think it's absolutely fine to have those 2 options. I could perfectly understand if you wanted to go elsewhere, but then you are spending more money. And I think with this formation, I've got the other clubs covered with the decent defences, as we'll have a look. In defence, first one absolutely nailed on, has to be in there, Reece James. He has kept a clean sheet so far in his 2 games. We'll see how he gets on this weekend. Great XGI. Last year's was good. This year's even better so far. 5 goals, 9 assists last year. He's already picked up a goal. The only slight concern I'd have with him is does he continue to play that right centre-back? If he does, then that really limits his attacking potential. It was interesting in the last game, pretty much as soon as he went right wing back, he set up a great chance for Havertz, then scored. Hopefully that right wing back place is his. If he does continue to play there, he looks fantastic. For 6.1, he's absolute set and forget for me. Alongside him in that defence, I think you've got to go Trent. Originally I went Robertson. I've got Robertson in my side. Trent's just offering so much more. I know it's only 2 games and I'm holding on to Robbo, but if I had the opportunity of wildcard, and Trent would be the man I would bring in. His XGI looks really good. Hasn't done anything yet, but he's just so involved in everything that Liverpool do. And those fixtures look really good. I'll be absolutely happy to own Trent, and let's see how he gets on against Man United. But he's again a set and forget for me. Kyle Walker, a cheap way into that Man City defence. He's got a bit of competition now, so we'll wait and see how that pans out. Could possibly be Ake that would come in instead for a similar price point. Even though he's playing quite advanced and central for Man City, he's just not really getting involved in terms of attacking returns. But that's not why he's in there. That's probably why we're only paying 5.1 for him. But I'm happy still to have him. If he picks up anything, it's a real bonus. But for 5.1 million, having a defender in the best defence in the league at the moment is pretty nailed on. I'm happy with that, and Kyle Walker gets a shout for me. Okay, alongside him we have Lewis Dunk, 4.5. Decent fixtures for Lewis Dunk. Again, looking at attacking returns, there's just very little to get excited. He only got 1 goal last year. I think in previous seasons, looking through his record, he is pretty prolific. Well, prolific's not the word he uses. He has got the odd goal return. He has an aerial threat from set pieces. So I wouldn't completely rule him out. But those fixtures look so good. And at 4.5, I'd be happy to put him on the bench. So for me, Lewis Dunk's definitely worth it. And what a differential he could be as well. Nailed in that Brighton defence. Lastly, I think Nico Williams, just 4 million. He started out as just a real enabler because he's just the cheapest playing defender out there. But I think looking at his XGI, it looks 0.49. Against lots of West Ham and Everton, he just looks so attacking, getting so far forward. He has decent fixtures. And again, for 4 million, happy to play him against some of the weaker sides. Happy to bench him when he gets a bit tougher. So for me, he just looks like a great option. Last season, hardly played, got an assist for Liverpool. This season, nothing yet, but all the indications are that he could have a really good season. And Forest, they've been pretty tight so far. Moving into that midfield then, here's one a bit of a wild punt. 5 million. Looks like he's going to get a run of games in that Liverpool midfield. Harvey Elliott, decent fixtures. XGI not that bad last year, 0.29 and 0.4 so far this season. No returns, but playing in the heart of that Liverpool midfield with those fixtures, he just looks like, for 5 million, a really good option. He's an enabler as well. I'm not sure. I do have reservations about how many he's going to get. Will Henderson take over? But by the last couple of games he's played over an hour in both games. He looks like a decent option. I would be happy taking a punt at only 5 million for Harvey Elliott, because if he does get the minutes against those fixtures, you just feel just by being in the midfield of Liverpool, he's going to get involved and get some attacking returns. So Harvey Elliott, bit of a wild one. At that price point, you've got to remember, 5 million. I don't see anyone else really that I'll be keen to go on for Liverpool. As you'll see, with Darwin out, could go Diaz, but then you're paying a lot more. And as you'll see, we'll have Trent will have Salah in there anyway. 5 million, I think he's a decent option for me. So alongside him, I'm going to go Martinelli. I just don't think we can look anywhere else. I'm not going to dwell on him. He's got great fixtures coming up. He's returning every game so far this season. 2 goals, 1 assist, 0.73. His XGI looks brilliant. He's just an absolute, at the moment, he's possibly the pick of all FPL assets, him and Jesus maybe. But he looks brilliant, 6.3. He just comes in, don't even argue with that. Alongside him, yes, we've got to go Salah with those fixtures. We'll look at alternatives and what we could do later on without him. But 13 million, I just think his XGI is still fantastic. We know what he did last season. He got 1 goal, 1 assist. Only played 2 games so far. 0.96. Not many can come near him. He's still brilliant. We've just got to have him. Yes, he's expensive, but with those fixtures, I don't want to go without him. Andreas, he has some difficult games coming up. You have to say, you got Arsenal away, looks tricky. Tottenham, Chelsea, in between Brighton and Forest. His XGI looks okay, but for 4.5, he's playing in that Fulham side that are scoring goals. He's picked up an assist. He's just an enabler. At 4.5, he allows you to get much better premium players elsewhere in your side, and he's playing every week. So I think for me, he still gets the nod, and he comes into the side. And my last one, again for similar reason to Silva, not hugely a big fan of De Silva, but again for that price point, I could go someone like Lavia, who would play every week. I don't think he offers any more attacking potential. And De Silva, Brentford's fixtures look really nice. Even though he scored twice, his XGI is just really poor. He's got the goal in the first game was a great goal against Leicester. Then the Man U game, which was a mistake by De Gea. So for the price and his XGI, I'm not a big fan of his. But 4.6 playing with good fixtures, I don't think there's many better options. His XGI is really poor. He's just not getting many shots in and around the box in general. So you just don't think he can keep up this sort of 2 and 3 goals. He just cannot keep that sort of form up. Up front then, it gets quite interesting and it gets a little bit tasty. Jesus, I'm not going to get into conversation with him. He's just been brilliant. Look at that, XGI 1.07. He's played 3 games this season. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists already. Absolutely fantastic. 8.1, great fixtures. Playing a side in form. Just set and forget. Let's not even go there. Again, we've got Erling Haaland, 11.7. Bundesliga, I'm not going to look at his statistics last year, but this year so far, 2 goals, 1 assist. Again, a great start to his career. Only played 2 games. Over 1.15 is expected XG. He definitely comes in, especially with those fixtures. Nailed up front, playing for Man City. Looks brilliant. And then making up that top 3. And wow, what a top 3 it is. You have Harry Kane. Again, 0.96. Brilliant XGI. 2 goals already this season. Doesn't even feel like he's particularly playing well. But already with those fixtures playing up front now for Tottenham, he looks brilliant. Looking at the whole side, those top 3, you've got Haaland, Kane, Salah premiums. You've still got the likes of Trent. So, it just looks like a brilliant side. Martinelli in there, Jesus, Williams, Walker. I really like it. I think it's a really strong looking side. Let's have a look at what other tinkering we could do and who else we could bring in. Okay, let's have a look at the few other options then. One player that I'd love to bring in, yes, Kevin De Bruyne. His fixtures look brilliant. He's nailed it in that Man City defence, and he is 0.9 cheaper than Salah. So a potential possibility of bringing him in instead of Salah. I wouldn't say his fixture are any worse than Salah's. Feels just always dangerous not having Salah on your side, but he saves quite a bit of money, and KDB's been definitely doing the business. So bringing him in, definitely an option. That will give you a bit more money to play with. You could then upgrade the likes of Dunk, maybe bring in someone like Cucurella, who looks like, again, he's going to get game time at Chelsea, whether it's at the left back, whether it's a centre back. Either way, he's possibly playing in one of the best defences in the league. So I quite like the idea of Cucurella. If Fofana does get his move to Chelsea, then again, 4.5 playing in that Chelsea defence looks like a really good option to me, and that would save us more money. I'd definitely go over Cucurella if that was the case. Son is another one. I do think Tottenham's fixtures look really nice. He could come in. The problem is with such a premium, if you don't, you could obviously just move straight from De Bruyne to Son. The other choice is you could have to downgrade someone like a Kane or a Haaland to someone like maybe an Archer who's getting some minutes off the bench for Villa. That could be a possibility. That would take you to 12, so you still keep your premium, but you do lose Kane. Other options, Zinchenko definitely. If you want that third Arsenal player in, and I wouldn't be against it. Zinchenko could come in for the likes of Cucurella, so you're not doubling up on that Chelsea defence. Instead, you're spreading your risk. Another one is Tomiyasu's coming back. He's longer term. You'd think he's preferred right back for Arsenal instead of Ben White. But Ben White doing such a good job at the moment. But 4.5 in that Arsenal defence would look like a really good move. And again, what great fixtures they've got. The other things as well, with the transfer window happening, you've got things like Emerson, possibly. I mean, he goes to West Ham at 4 million. He could be a real game changer. What enabler he could do. He could save you so much money. You could, if you want, instead just go from Nico Williams to Emerson. But otherwise, with decent fixtures, you could start to think about who you're going to take out. Maybe Zinchenko. The problem is you've got so many good defenders at decent prices. Who do you end up dropping? But Emerson could be one of the options. That's it for this one then, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found that useful. Let me know in the comments below. Are you wildcarding for game week 4? If so, who are the players that you definitely want to bring in? Let me know if you think of any players that I haven't thought of or you think are better options. I'd love to hear your comments and open up some discussion. In the meantime, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and we'll be coming back at you with some team selection, reviews, watch lists, all that good stuff in the coming week. In the meantime, speak to you soon.